Hopefully that'll fix it. All right. 0.019 turns into 1.9%. And then 9 turns into 900%. And then for 3/5, we would first want to change that to a decimal. So we would just divide 3 divided by 5, which equals 0.6. And then we can convert that to a percent, which would be 60%. All right. Any questions about any of that stuff? All right, so now we'll start actually doing some finding percents. So we're going to start off by translating from the question into an equation. So wherever it says what, we're going to replace that with x. Wherever it says is, we're going to replace that with equals. And then 7.5%, so I'll go ahead and write that as a decimal, 0.075. Of means multiply, so times, and then 235.9. And then all we have to do is just multiply 0.075 times 235.9. So 17.6925. All right, number 16 says 13 is what percent of 200? All right, so I'm just going to translate this directly into an equation. So 13 is, so equals, what percent? So for that, I'm just going to put x. Of means times 200. So the equation is 13 equals x times 200. So to solve for x, we just need to divide both sides by 200. So 13 divided by 200 is 0.065. So 0.065 equals x. And that's a percent, so we want to change it to percent form. So that would be 6.5%. All right. Number 17, 15.2 is 20% of what? So 15.2 is, so equals 20%. So I'll go ahead and change that to 0.2 of, so times what would be x? So 15.2 equals 0.2 times x. And then to solve, we just need to divide both sides by 0.2. So 15.2 divided by 0.2 equals 76. Alrighty. So number 18, what is 5% of 130? So what, that will be x, is means equals 5%, so that's 0.05. Of means times 130. So then we just have to multiply 0.05 times 130, and that's 6.5. So x equals 6.5. All right, so getting a little bit more closer to real world applications here. So number 19 says a daycare worker found 28 children absent one day during an epidemic of chickenpox. If this was 35% of the total number of children attending the daycare center, how many children attend this daycare center? Okay, so 28 were absent, and it says if this, so this is referring to 28, was, which is basically the same thing as is, so that would be equals, 28 equals 35%, so 0.35. 35% of, so times the total number. So the total number is what we don't know, so that's going to be x. That's what we're trying to solve for. So 28 equals 0.35 times x. So to solve, we need to divide both sides by 0.35. So 28 divided by 0.35 equals 80. So 80 children are enrolled in the daycare. No, I think it means like the total number that are. Right. Yeah. So yeah, if you wanted to know how many were actually present on that day, then yeah, you would subtract 28. But yeah, the wording's a little bit confusing. So yeah, they meant like how many like are enrolled, I think. Yeah. All right. Number 20. The maximum weight resistance for the total gym is 60% of the weight of the person using it. Find the maximum weight resistance possible for a 220-pound man. Okay, so the maximum weight resistance is what we don't know. So that's X. Is, so equals 60%, so that would be 0.6. Of means times. And then the weight of the person using it, which in this case is 220. So just X equals 0.6 times 220. So 0.6 times 220 equals 132. So 132 pounds of resistance is the maximum possible. All right, number 21, if your bill at Chili's is $30 and you leave a tip of $6, what percentage did you tip? So in other words, you could reword this to say $6 is what percent of $30? All right, so that would be 6 equals X times 30. So to solve that, you would just divide both sides by 30. So 6 divided by 30 is 0.2. So 0.2 equals X. So that is 20%. All right, number 22. The sticker price on a TV is $299. There is a sale sign stating that everything in the store is 35% off. The sales tax rate is 8.25%. If you buy this TV, what would your exact total cost be? All right. So I'm going to do this kind of two different ways. A lot of times on the homework, they will have like a question like this with multiple parts that will say like, well, how much was the amount of the discount and how much was the sale price and how much was the tax? So I'm going to do it that way first, and then I'll do a shortcut that does it like all at once. Okay, so if it's 35% off, then let's calculate the amount of discount. So that would be $299 times 0.35. So that's 104.65 is the amount of the discount. All right, so then next we could calculate the sale price. Which would equal $299 minus the amount of the discount, which is 104.65. So that'd be 194.35. All right, and then we could calculate the amount of tax. which would equal the sale price times the tax rate. So 194.35 multiplied by 0.0825. So round it to the nearest cent, so that'll be 1603. And then finally we can get the total that you're actually going to pay, which equals the sale price plus the tax. 194.35 plus 1603. $210.38. All right. Now I'm going to show you how to get that same answer just in one line of calculation. So if you didn't need to break it down into all those parts and give a bunch of separate answers, and you just wanted to get the final answer, here's what I would do. $299. So it's 35% off. Well, that means it's 65% on. So I just took 100% minus 35%, gives me 65%. So then I would multiply that times 1.0825, and that should give me the same final answer. 299 times 0.65 times 1.0825. 210.38. Uh, 100% minus 35% is 65%. So yeah, so if it's 35% off, that means the amount you are paying is 65% of the original. In a while. I don't remember the date. I mean, it's on the schedule. Let's see if I have it in here. I don't have the schedule in. Yes, it's definitely October something, for sure. Mm-hmm. All right. The 15th. All right. All right. Income tax. Yay. All right. Okay. So this table is from 2012 for income tax. So it shows what tax bracket someone is in based on their income and filing status. Let's read the question, and then we'll go back and look at the information. So it says, find the income tax owed by a single woman with 3 dependent children with a gross income of $70,000 in 2012. She paid $3,000 in student loan interest and donated $1,000 to charity. She has a $100 tax credit for driving a Prius and a $1,200 adjustment. Okay, so first we need to start by calculating her taxable income. All right, so we want to figure out if she's going to use the standard deduction or her itemized deductions. So for if she was going to itemize deductions, so she has $3,000 from student loan interest, $1,000 charitable donation. Okay, and that's all of the deductions that she has. All right, so that's $4,000. All right, now that is less than the standard deduction because the standard deduction is $5,950. So that means that we're basically just going to not use the itemized deductions and we're just going to use the standard since the standard is more. So that'll get her a better deal on her taxes. Okay, so then we're going to calculate her taxable income. Okay, so her gross income was $70,000. So that means that's how much she got paid before any taxes or anything would be taken out. All right, so then let's see, we're going to subtract from that the standard deduction, which is $5,950. We're also going to subtract the adjustment, which is $1,200. And we're going to subtract exemptions. So you have one exemption per person in the household. So there's herself and her 3 kids. So that means she gets 4 of those exemptions. So 4 times 3,800. All right, so we calculate that and that will be her taxable income. So 70,000 minus 5,950 minus 1,200. Let's see if I can do this in here. No. On your scientific calculator, you can just type it in exactly the way that I wrote it down. It didn't work. Of course, I told you all to bring your calculator, but I didn't bring mine. Let's see if this one works. No, it's not. So 4 times 3,800 is 15,200. All right, so $47,650 is her taxable income. All right, so then with that, we can figure out which actual tax bracket she falls into. All right, so that's going to be the 25% tax bracket. Okay, because her income is in between, you know, this 35,000 and something and the 85,000 and something. Okay. So then we'll start calculating the income tax that she owes. All right, so the way this works, I did not used to know this for a long time, but the way this works is, so she's in the 25% tax bracket. So I used to think that that meant that she would pay 25% of her income, but that's not actually quite right. So she's going to pay, everyone under this chart right here would pay 10% of the first $8,700 they earn. Then they would pay 15% of everything between 8,701 and 35,350. And then above that, she'll pay 25% of the rest. All right, so we're going to multiply 10% times 8,700. Oops. Plus 0.15 times, and then we're going to just take 35,350 minus 8,701. Plus 0.25 times her taxable income, which is 47,650 minus 35,351. All right, and then from that, so it says that she had a $100 tax credit. So a tax credit, so deductions are things that you deduct directly from your taxable income, whereas a tax credit is something you deduct directly from the amount of the tax you're paying. So we're going to subtract $100 from the total amount of tax for that tax credit. All right, so again, if you have your scientific calculator, you can type it in just like the way that I've written it down right there. That's why people have TurboTax and H&R Block and all that stuff. You're receiving an education. That's your payment. You're receiving grades and degrees. I'm having to do it this way because I did not bring my scientific calculator. All right, so for my final answer, I have $4,244.10. So oh, maybe I typed something in wrong. Oh yeah, I can see right here. I typed it in wrong right here. Yeah, I left out like a digit. Let me do it again. $7,842.10. Okay. Yep. Okay. There we go. Okay. Any other questions about that? All right. All right. So 8.3 is about simple interest. All right. So the most commonly used formula for simple interest is I equals PRT. And that formula is on the formula sheet. So the same formula sheet that I gave you before is the same one for this chapter. So I stands for the amount of interest. P stands for the principal, which is the original amount that was borrowed. And R is for the interest rate written as a decimal, and then T is the time in years. All right, so there's also another formula on your formula sheet that you may want to use sometimes, which is A equals P parentheses 1 plus RT. And so the only difference there is A would be the total amount owed. All right, so you can pretty much use either one of those formulas. So you borrow money, and then you have some interest, and then at the end of the certain period of time, you have to pay back the original amount that you borrowed plus the interest, right? So that's what A is. A is the total amount, so it includes the principal plus the amount of interest. So it's also, this is not really a formula, but it kind of is, but it's also true that A is equal to principal plus interest. Okay, that's not, like I said, that's not really considered a formula. It's not on your formula sheet, but that's kind of something that is helpful to know. Okay. So So it really doesn't matter which formula you use as long as you know exactly what each variable represents and how to plug in the right number to the right variable. All right, so number one says, suppose you borrow $500 from your dad at 5% simple interest. If you pay him back in 4 months, how much interest will you pay and how much total would you owe? All right, so 500 is the principal. So that's P, is 500. And then the rate is 5%, so we can say R equals 0.05. And then the time is 4 months, but we need to convert that to years, so divide it by 12. And you can reduce it or whatever, it doesn't really matter at this point. All right, so they want to know how much interest would you pay, so let's go ahead and just use I equals PRT. So I equals 500 times 0.05 times 4/12. All right, and you can type it in your calculator exactly like that. 500 times 0.05 times 4/12. So round that to the nearest cent, that's $8.33. All right, and the total amount that you owe, so if we know the principal and we know the interest, all we have to do is just add those together. So 500 plus $8.33. All right. So obviously that's just 500 to 833. All right, number two, if you borrow $650 at simple interest and after 2 years pay back $741, what was the simple interest rate? Okay, so what variable is 650? P equals 650. All right, and then T is equal to 2. And then what variable is 741? That would be the A. Yeah, that's where most people get messed up in this section, is they use that for I, and it's actually A, because it's the total amount that you pay back is 741. All right. And it's kind of a clue, because most of the time the amount of the interest will be less than what you originally borrowed. Whereas the A, the total amount, is always going to be more than what you originally borrowed, because it's the amount you borrowed plus the interest. Okay, so in this case, I would probably go ahead and use that formula that has the A in it, which is A equals P times 1 plus RT. So 741 equals 650 times 1 plus R, which we don't know, times T, which is 2. All right. So I think I will go ahead and distribute 650. So 650 times 1 is 650, and 650 times 2 is 1300. So that would be 650 plus 1300R. And that still equals 741. And then I'm just trying to solve for R, so I'm going to subtract 650 from both sides. So 741 minus 650 is 91. So 91 equals 1300 R. And then just divide both sides by 1300. So that's 0.07 equals R. So let's change that to a percent. So that's 7%. Okay, number 3 says you borrow $1,230 at 6% simple interest. If you pay back a total of $1,334.55, how long did it take you to pay back the money? Okay, so 1230 is what variable? P. And then R is 6%, so that's 0.06. All right, you pay back a total of $1,334.55. So which variable is that? That's A. How long did it take to pay back the money? All right, so let's use the formula with A. So 1334.55 equals 1230 times 1 plus 0.06 T. All right, and then I'll distribute 1230. So 1230 times 1 is 1230. And then 1230 times 0.06 is 7380 or 73.8. So I have 1334.55 equals 1230 plus 73.8 T. So subtract 1230 from both sides. So that's 104.55 equals 73.8 T. So I need to divide both sides by 73.8. All right, so then T is approximately equal to 1.42. If I take that number and I multiply it by 12, I get a very nice answer of 17. So I could say it's approximately 1.42 years, or I could say that it's equal to 17 months. All right, number 4, John borrows money from you to buy a guitar. You loan him the money at 8% simple interest. 15 months later, he pays you back $935. How much was the guitar? Okay, so P is the unknown in this case. 8% interest, so R equals 0.08. T is 15 months, so we need to put that in terms of years, so we'll put it over 12. And then 935, that's A, because that's the total amount he pays you back. All right, so we'll use the formula that has A in it. 935 equals, this time the P is unknown, so P times 1 plus 0.08 times 15 over 12. All right, so I'm going to take this whole thing that's in the parentheses and plug that into the calculator. And it gives me 1.1. So I have 935 equals P times 1.1. So to solve for P, I just need to divide both sides by 1.1. So 935 divided by 1.1 is 850. So 850 is equal to P. So that's $850 guitar. All right, I haven't taken attendance yet, so I'm going to do that. Joshua Bennett is here. Cole is here. Eileen here. Jay, you're here. Carly. Alana. Morgan was online. Yeah. Brooklyn. Are you Alana? Oh, okay, I just Brooklyn. Lincia is here. Connor. Alicia. Yeah. Christian. William. It's not here. Elizabeth. Caleb. All right. All right. Does everybody have a scientific calculator? Because you're really gonna need it next class. So please make sure you have one. All right, make sure you're doing your homework. I'll see y'all next week. Like right now, you should go do your homework because it's gonna be due in a week from today. And then the next class, you'll have more homework too. So yeah, you didn't have any to do over the weekend, but now you do. So. Yeah, so you do it now. Why wait? Not yet. Did you take it? Yeah. Okay, I haven't graded them yet. Okay, you are all the softball people? Okay. Are y'all available tomorrow afternoon or what? Okay. Okay. So yeah, I have class at 5 p.m. So if we can just do it, so like 3:30 would be good. You know, I mean, it depends on how long you think you'll take also. I mean, most people don't take that long, but yeah. So yeah, tomorrow around, yeah, 3:30, something like that, that'd be good. And I'm not sure about the location, but I'll probably maybe in here, we'll see. I'll like send you an email and let you know where it'll be. It will probably be in one of these rooms around here.
Okay.
All right. Mm-hmm.